You already know what this feels like. You close your eyes. Finally. After a long day, after the news, after everything, you sink into that pillow and you let go. And for a little while, it is perfect. Then something wakes you up. Not a sound, not a nightmare, just that familiar pressure. That low, insistent signal from somewhere below your waist telling you that you have to get up again. So you do. You shuffle to the bathroom in the dark, half asleep, squinting against the light. You go back to bed. You close your eyes again. And 45 minutes later, it happens again. 2 times a night, 3 times, sometimes 4. You have probably stopped counting.
Think
If
about the
this is
last
your
time
life
someone
right
told you to
now,
just go for a
I
walk.
want you to know something
Maybe it was
before
your
we go any
doctor,
further.
leaning back in that
You are
chair with a
not
clipboard.
broken. Your bladder is not failing. You are not just getting old and there is nothing you can do about it. What is happening to you has a specific, identifiable, completely fixable cause. And that cause is not inside your bladder at all. It is in your legs. I know that sounds strange, maybe even impossible. You came here because of bathroom trips in the middle of the night, and I am pointing at your calves.
You are
But
putting
stay
yourself
with
at
me for the next few
serious
minutes,
risk.
because what you are
I
about to
need you to
learn
do
is going
exactly
to
as I
genuinely
say.
change the way you
Right
sleep.
now, I
Not
need you to
someday.
do something for
Starting
me.
tonight, I am going to show you a simple 3-minute evening routine you can do right from your favorite chair, exactly 2 hours before you go to sleep. It requires no equipment, no gym membership, no bending into positions your body has not been in since the 1980s. Just 3 gentle, specific movements that take about 60 seconds each. But first, I need to explain the science. Because when you understand the why behind what is happening, these movements will make complete sense. And you will actually do them every single evening because you will know exactly how they work. If you are new to Liberty Aging, subscribe now and turn on notifications. We publish evidence-based movement content specifically for adults over 60 who want to protect their independence and quality of life. And before we go any further, type the word legs in the comments below. It tells me you understand the connection we are about to explore, and it helps this information reach the people who truly need it. To understand why the 3 movements you are about to learn work, you need to understand what is actually happening inside your legs from morning until night. Your body has 2 major systems for moving fluid through the lower extremities and returning it to the heart. The first is your venous system, the network of veins that carry blood back upward toward the chest. The second is your lymphatic system, a separate drainage network that collects the excess fluid that leaks out of your capillaries into the surrounding tissue and channels it back into circulation. Both of these systems depend heavily on one thing: muscular contraction, specifically the contraction of the calf muscles. Your calf is not just there to push you up on your toes. It functions as what vascular physicians often describe as a peripheral pump. Every time your calf muscles squeeze, they compress the deep veins of the lower leg, physically pushing blood upward against gravity toward your heart. When this pump is working well, fluid keeps moving. When it is not, fluid stalls and begins to accumulate in the interstitial tissue, the soft space between your cells, particularly around the ankles and lower legs. Here is where age enters the picture. After 60, most people naturally lose calf muscle mass, a process called sarcopenia. As this muscle decreases, so does its pumping force. The fluid that once returned efficiently to your circulation now lingers, settling into your ankles. It creates that heavy, puffy feeling many notice by late afternoon and dismiss as nothing. But it is not nothing. It is the fluid that will flood your kidneys at midnight. Your lymphatic system faces the same challenge. Unlike the heart, which actively pumps blood through arteries with muscular force, the lymphatic system has no dedicated pump at all. It depends entirely on the mechanical squeezing created by the muscles surrounding it. When your calf muscles contract rhythmically, they compress lymphatic vessels and push lymph fluid upward through a series of one-way valves. When those muscles are weakened by sarcopenia or simply inactive, Lymphatic flow in the lower extremities slows dramatically and fluid accumulates. Now picture what happens at bedtime. You elevate your legs by simply lying flat. The gravitational gradient that was holding all that accumulated fluid in your lower legs suddenly disappears. The fluid shifts back into the venous and lymphatic circulation. Your kidneys receive what they interpret as a fluid load that requires processing. And so they do their job faithfully and efficiently, producing urine at a rate that your bladder cannot comfortably hold through the night. The connection is direct. The fluid in the legs in the evening becomes the urine in the bladder at 2 a.m. Addressing the legs before bed does not just reduce nighttime waking. It addresses the actual source of the problem. Movement 1, the seated calf press sequence, activating the venous pump before it goes offline for the night. You have probably noticed that your legs feel heavier in the evening than they did in the morning. That is not just fatigue, that is fluid weight. The calf muscles that were meant to push that fluid upward throughout the day have quieted down as your activity level dropped, and the fluid has had hours to settle. This first movement is specifically designed to restart that pump deliberately and completely before you lie down for the night. Find a firm chair, a dining chair, or a supportive armchair works perfectly. Sit with your feet flat on the floor directly beneath your knees. Sit tall enough that your thighs are roughly parallel to the floor and your back is comfortably upright. You do not need to be rigid, just supported. Begin by pressing all 10 toes firmly into the floor as if you are trying to grip it. Hold that toe press for 2 full seconds. Feel the front of your lower leg engage. Now release the toes and instead press through the balls of your feet, shifting the pressure forward while you simultaneously lift your heels off the floor as high as they will comfortably go. You are performing a seated heel raise. Hold at the top for 3 full seconds. Do not rush through this. The hold is where the pump action happens. Lower your heels slowly back to the floor. That is 1 complete repetition. Now add the second element. After your heels return to the floor, lift the entire front of your foot off the ground so your heels stay down and your toes and forefoot rise up toward your shins. Hold this position, called dorsiflexion, for 3 seconds. Feel the stretch through your calf and Achilles. Then lower your foot flat again. That combined sequence, heel raise plus hold, then toe lift plus hold, counts as 1 full cycle. Complete 12 cycles at a slow, deliberate pace. The entire sequence should take approximately 90 seconds. Do not rush. When you raise your heels and hold, your calf muscles contract powerfully, forcing venous blood upward toward the heart. Lifting your toes then engages the front of the shin, mobilizing fluid the heel raise missed. This alternating rhythm creates a complete pumping wave through your entire lower leg. If you have limited ankle mobility or find that the heel raise is uncomfortable, perform only the toe lift portion. Lifting your forefoot off the floor while keeping your heels planted still engages significant calf and shin musculature and provides meaningful pumping without requiring full ankle range of motion. You can also place a thin, folded towel under your heels to reduce the Achilles stretch if that portion feels tight. If this movement feels easy, progress by adding a resistance band looped around the ball of the foot and anchored under the heel, creating gentle resistance during both the raise and the toe lift. This increases muscle recruitment substantially and intensifies the pumping effect. This sequence primes the primary venous pump of your lower leg and begins the drainage process actively. The next movement takes a different approach entirely, targeting the lymphatic network through a completely distinct mechanism that works alongside what the calf press started. Movement 2. The ankle circle drainage flow, stimulating the lymphatic network through rotational mobilization. Think about the last time you sat for a long flight or a long car journey, then stood up and felt that thick, almost wooden sensation in your lower legs and feet. That feeling is stagnant, fluid, and sluggish lymphatic flow, and ankle circles done with specific intention can directly address it. Most people who do ankle circles do them casually and quickly, as if they are just loosening a joint. What you are about to do is fundamentally different in pace, range, and purpose. Remain seated in your firm chair. Lift your right foot a few inches off the floor so your lower leg hangs freely. Let the ankle fully relax. You want the weight of the foot to create a gentle, natural traction through the ankle joint. Begin rotating the foot in a full clockwise circle. But here is what distinguishes this from a casual ankle roll. Move through every degree of the rotation slowly enough that you can feel the range of motion change as you pass through each portion of the arc. When your foot points downward, hold that downward position for 1 full second before continuing. When your foot flexes upward toward your shin, hold that upward position for 1 full second before continuing. You are not drawing a fast circle. You are moving through 4 distinct compass points of a circle with a deliberate pause at each one. Complete 8 full clockwise rotations with these pauses. Then reverse direction and complete 8 counterclockwise rotations with the same deliberate holds. Lower the right foot, switch to the left leg, and repeat the entire sequence. Now, with both feet back on the floor, add the final component of this movement. Using the fingers of both hands, lightly stroke the skin of your lower legs from the ankle upward toward the knee. Use a firm but gentle pressure, about the pressure you would use to smooth a wrinkle from a piece of paper. Always stroke upward, from ankle to knee, never downward. Spend about 20 seconds on each leg. These rotational ankle circles accomplish something the straight heel raises cannot. The circular motion and deliberate holds mechanically stretch the connective tissue in your lower leg, creating physical space for lymphatic vessels to expand and drain. By pointing, flexing, and rotating, you are activating different muscle groups in a sequence. This creates a circumferential drainage effect, pushing out fluid pooled across the entire lower leg, not just the front or back. The upward skin stroking that follows applies the basic principle of manual lymphatic drainage. The superficial lymphatic network sits just beneath the skin's surface. Light upward pressure applied to the skin encourages superficial lymph fluid to flow toward the lymph nodes behind the knee, which then drain to the nodes in the groin. This is why the direction matters absolutely. Stroking downward would work against the one-way valves in the lymphatic system and provide no benefit. Stroking upward, even with gentle pressure, provides meaningful assistance to superficial lymphatic clearance. If you have significant ankle swelling or discomfort with circular rotation, simply perform the upward stroking portion alone. Even isolated manual skin drainage performed correctly for 30 seconds per leg produces measurable improvement in superficial lymphatic flow. For a progression, perform this movement while seated on a slightly lower surface, which increases the freehang angle of the lower leg and intensifies the natural traction through the ankle joint during rotation, allowing for even greater fascial mobilization. The first 2 movements have actively pumped fluid from your lower legs using muscular contraction and lymphatic stimulation. The third movement uses an entirely different tool. It uses gravity itself, redirected and applied strategically to finish what the first 2 movements began. Movement 3. These supported diagonal elevation redirecting gravity to complete the fluid return all day long. Gravity has been pulling fluid downward into your lower legs. For this final part of your evening routine, you are going to use gravity in the opposite direction, deliberately and comfortably, to assist your body in finishing what the previous 2 movements started. You will do this one lying on your bed or your couch, whichever is most accessible and comfortable. You will need 2 standard bed pillows, or 1 firm pillow and a folded blanket. The goal is to elevate your lower legs and feet so they are positioned approximately 8 to 12 inches higher than your hips. This does not require gymnastic flexibility or any specialized equipment. It simply requires 2 pillows stacked at the foot of your bed or the end of your couch. Lie on your back. Place the pillow stack under your calves and ankles. Your heels should rest on top of the pillows with your feet slightly higher than your knees and your knees slightly higher than your hips. Take a moment to find the position that feels genuinely comfortable through your lower back. A small additional pillow under your head may help. Your arms should rest at your sides with your palms turned upward, a position that naturally relaxes the shoulder muscles and encourages full body release. Now, rather than simply lying still in this position, which would be effective on its own, you are going to perform one final active component. From this elevated position, slowly flex and point your feet 10 times, the same movement you made in the calf press sequence, but now performed with your legs already elevated. Flex upward, hold 2 seconds, point downward, hold 2 seconds. 10 repetitions, then let your legs completely relax on the pillows and remain in this position for 90 seconds of complete stillness. By elevating your legs above your hips, the fluid that fought gravity all day now flows easily back toward your heart. The 10 ankle pumps amplify this effect. Think of squeezing water through a tube that slopes downward rather than uphill. The same effort produces dramatically greater fluid return because gravity is finally working with you. The 90 seconds of complete stillness at the end are not passive. During this stillness, your autonomic nervous system, sensing the shift in body position and the drop in lower extremity venous pressure, begins to actively downregulate. Heart rate slows slightly. Blood pressure adjusts. The body begins its preparatory shift toward sleep physiology. You are not just draining your legs. You are beginning the neurological transition toward rest. If getting down to a bed or couch is challenging, this movement can be performed in a recliner elevated to its highest footrest position. The elevation angle will be somewhat less than ideal, but still sufficient to produce meaningful venous pressure reduction and fluid return. For a progression, place a second folded blanket under the pillow stack to achieve a higher elevation angle and extend the stillness period from 90 seconds to 3 full minutes. Clinical observations in vascular medicine consistently show that sustained elevation beyond 2 minutes produces significantly greater venous emptying than shorter periods. Knowing these 3 movements is only half of the PROW's equation. Knowing when to perform them is what determines whether they protect your sleep or simply delay the problem by an hour. The ideal window is 2 to 2.5 hours before you intend to sleep. Not immediately before bed. There is a specific reason for this. When you perform these movements and elevate your legs, you initiate the process of flushing accumulated fluid back into your central circulation. Your kidneys then need time to receive that fluid load, filter it, and produce urine from it. If you perform these movements and go directly to bed, your kidneys will be processing that fluid surge during the first hours of sleep, which are your deepest and most restorative sleep phases. You will still wake up, just slightly delayed. But if you perform these movements 2 hours before bed, your kidneys process the fluid load while you are still awake and able to visit the bathroom voluntarily. By the time you lie down to sleep, the surge has already been handled. Your bladder load at bedtime is substantially lower. The result is that the first stretch of your sleep is longer and deeper. Fluid timing through the day works on the same principle. Adequate hydration in the morning and early afternoon is essential for cardiovascular and kidney health. But research in the management of nocturia consistently supports reducing fluid intake after approximately 6 in the evening. This does not mean dehydration. It means front-loading your hydration earlier in the day so your kidneys are not actively processing a large fluid volume when you lie down. Finally, consider graduated compression stockings. Clinical research shows they measurably reduce nighttime urination. By applying external pressure during the day, they stop fluid from leaking into your lower leg tissues in the first place. Less fluid accumulating during the day means less fluid flooding your kidneys at night. If nighttime waking is severely disrupting your life, medical-grade compression socks are a legitimate strategy to discuss with your doctor. I want to say something directly to you before we close because I think it matters. Sleep deprivation in people over 60 is not just an inconvenience. It is a genuine health issue. Broken, fragmented sleep night after night affects your immune system. It affects your memory consolidation, the process by which your brain files and stores the experiences of the day. It affects your blood pressure regulation, your insulin sensitivity, your mood, your ability to concentrate, your motivation, and your balance. That last one is important. People who are chronically sleep deprived fall more often, and falls are one of the leading causes of serious injury in older adults in the United States. So this is not about comfort alone. Getting your sleep back is a genuine act of protecting your long-term health. And the cruelest part is that when you are exhausted, you feel as though there is nothing you can do, as though your body has simply decided to work against you, as though the bathroom trips in the dark are simply your new normal. They are not your new normal. Not if we address the actual cause. Let me review everything we covered together, because I want you to be able to do all of this tonight without needing to rewatch the video. 2 hours before bed, begin reducing fluids. Right before that 2-hour window closes, do your 3-minute routine. Start with 12 slow-seated calf press cycles, alternating heel raises and toe lifts with a full 3-second hold at each position. Then move to 8 deliberate ankle circles in each direction on each foot, with a 1-second pause at each compass point, followed by 20 seconds of upward skin stroking on each leg. Then lie back with your legs elevated on 2 stacked pillows, perform 10 gentle ankle pumps in that elevated position, and remain still for 90 seconds, breathing slowly, letting gravity complete the drainage your muscles began. That is the entire system. One thing before you go. If you have already been diagnosed with heart failure, kidney disease, or chronic venous insufficiency, please share this approach with your physician before beginning. In those specific conditions, fluid management is more complex and needs medical supervision. For most healthy adults over 60, this routine is safe, gentle, and completely appropriate. You have had enough broken nights. You have done enough shuffling through the dark at 2 in the morning. You deserve to close your eyes, sink into that pillow, and stay there until morning comes on its own. Go do the routine. Have a peaceful night. Your body already knows how to give you back your sleep. It just needed you to remove the obstacle. Now I want to hear from you. In the comments below, tell me how many times you typically wake up on an average night. And tell me honestly, has any doctor ever explained the connection between fluid in your legs and your nighttime bathroom trips? I read every comment on this channel, and your answer genuinely shapes what we create next. If this video gave you something real today, subscribe to LibertyAging and turn on notifications. Next week, we are going deeper into what happens to leg strength after 60, the specific muscles that decline fastest, and the daily movements that reverse that decline and keep you strong, stable, and independent for the years ahead. That video goes live next week. Make sure you are there. Sleep well tonight. You have earned it.